Hi, Kelly Eckold here to update you with the key events of the week. So this week we've got a couple of key data points on how this Iran war is impacting on the New Zealand economy. First up, we got consumer confidence that really cratered in March. Consumers have really been under the gun here with rising fuel prices. Our internal cards data tells us that consumers are probably paying about 20% more on fuel than they were even just a month or so ago. Consumer sentiment really deteriorated as the month wore on, and if we look at where it ended the month, it looks like it's as weak as it was back in 2024 when spending was really weak. Business confidence was also pretty weak in March. Businesses have noticed the tougher cost environment and also the high levels of uncertainty, and they don't like that one little bit. Similarly, business sentiment slipped as the month wore on, and that does look consistent with those really weak business conditions we had back in 2024. Uncertainty is pretty high right now, and confidence in forecasts is pretty low, and as a result, updates are going to be pretty frequent. It's certainly the case that things could come right here if some fast resolution to the war was to be announced. But it's also the case, and indeed my worry, that some of these recent trends are going to end up being protracted, such that we end up with a situation of a couple of very weak quarters of GDP growth, as we saw back in mid-2024. Next week we're going to hear from the Reserve Bank. We don't think that the OCR will change, but we will hear a bit more from them about how they're thinking about managing the inflation implications of this Iran war. We'll also crucially hear a little bit more about the diversity of views around the committee, with the possibility that we might hear from one or two hawks there. I'll be back to update you again next week.